Have you ever looked at your baby, those tiny fingers, that soft breath, and still felt like something was just off? Maybe it's the way they only sleep if they're being held, or how they cry endlessly even after being fed, changed, and snuggled. Or maybe it's those tricky tummy troubles your pediatrician brushes off as just part of being a baby. But deep down, your gut says otherwise, and you're right to listen to it. What many parents don't realize is that these subtle signs can point to something deeper, hidden stress within your baby's nervous system. And it's far more common than most people think. Research from the Journal of the American Osteopathic Association shows that 99% of newborns, even those born without complications, display signs of neurological dysfunction within their first few days of life. This isn't just about fussiness or sleep issues. This kind of stress can quietly build and lay the groundwork for future challenges in development, behavior, immune function, and more. That's why in this video, we're pulling back the curtain on what's really going on. We're going to explore the subtle signs that often get overlooked, the link between early neurological stress and the dramatic rise in chronic health conditions among children, and the simple, gentle solutions that are making a life-changing difference for families. You're going to learn why so many parents feel dismissed at well baby checkups and how neurologically focused chiropractic care helps fill in those critical gaps by going far beyond the surface. If you've ever found yourself wondering, why isn't anyone listening? This is your moment. You're not imagining things, and you're not alone. Here's where the pieces start to come together. Childhood health has shifted dramatically in recent decades. Today, nearly 40% of children are living with at least one chronic health condition, according to the CDC. For many families, that statistic hits close to home. And what's even more revealing is what's happening right from the start. That same Journal of the American Osteopathic Association study found that 99% of infants, yes, even those considered perfectly healthy, have some degree of dysfunction in their nervous system. The longer and more difficult the birth, the more likely those stress patterns are present. Yet standard pediatric checkups, while important, they aren't designed to detect these neurological shifts. They focus on developmental milestones, on vaccinations, and basic reflexes, not on how well the nervous system is regulating and adapting. And that's the missing piece for so many families. Because these challenges don't always show up right away, but when they do, they often trace back to the very beginning. That brings us to something we call the perfect storm. It's a term we use to describe the buildup of stress that begins during pregnancy and continues through birth and early life. It starts when a mother is exposed to prolonged stress, which can affect the baby even before birth. Stress hormones like cortisol cross the placenta and begin influencing the way the baby's nervous system develops. Research shows that this can alter brain development, setting the stage for future dysfunction. Then there's the birth process itself, one of the most intense physical experiences of our lives. Even in natural, uncomplicated births, the amount of pressure on a baby's head and neurospinal system is significant. When birth includes interventions like C-sections, forceps, or vacuum extraction, that physical stress can be magnified. These tools may be medically necessary, but they can increase the likelihood of tension or misalignment in critical areas like the upper neck and the brainstem. One of the most affected structures is the vagus nerve, which is the vital connection between the brain and virtually every organ in the body. When this nerve is under stress, it creates what we call subluxation, or interference in the nervous system that disrupts communication and function throughout the body. Now here's the challenge. These signs of stress often don't look dramatic. They can be subtle. If your baby won't sleep unless they're held, they startle easily, or seems unable to settle, That's not just a personality quirk, it may be their nervous system struggling to regulate. Feeding issues like a poor latch or frequent spitting up could be more than digestive issues. Constipation, gas, and colic often point to vagus nerve stress. Babies who always turn their head to one side or develop flattening on one side of the skull may have imbalances in the neurospinal or cranial system. And if your baby seems extra sensitive to light, noise, or touch, it could be a sign of nervous system overload, not just newborn behavior. So why do so many of these signs get missed? Because the traditional pediatric model isn't built to look for them. It's not that your doctor doesn't care. It's just that these issues fall outside the typical scope of well baby visits. Standard care focuses on growth charts and developmental benchmarks, but it doesn't include neurological scans, and it rarely considers the long-term effects of early stress. That often leaves families stuck in a cycle of trying new formulas, sleep routines, or medications without ever understanding what's really driving the challenges. That's where neurologically focused chiropractic care makes all the difference. This approach is gentle, it's specific, and designed for even the tiniest of babies. Adjustments use extremely light pressure. There's no cracking or popping, just a sustained contact. It's about as much pressure as you would use to check a tomato for ripeness or put in a contact lens. And it's also not guesswork. With our Insight neurological scans, we can objectively measure how your baby's nervous system is functioning and identify exactly where that stress is building up. So these scans help us to detect patterns of subluxation and dysautonomia, things that simply don't show up in a standard pediatric exam. Now, by correcting these imbalances early, we're helping babies develop more resilient, better regulated nervous systems that support everything from digestion and immunity to sleep, sensory processing, and motor development. It's not just about getting rid of current symptoms, it's about building a foundation for lifelong health. So if your gut is telling you something isn't right, even if you've been told that everything looks fine, trust that. Those signs you're noticing aren't small, they're signals. And the sooner we address them, the better. If you're ready to dig deeper and truly support your baby's health from the inside out, we are here to help. Click the link in our bio to connect with a neurologically focused chiropractor who can guide you through the next steps. Because every baby deserves a strong start and every parent deserves real answers.